Oke guys, langsung aja. Di beberapa waktu lalu, tepatnya di Pittsburgh Pro 2025, ada hal yang cukup ramai diperbincangkan sama penyerga-penyerga dan para fans. Yep, nggak lain karena hasil akhir dari Pittsburgh Pro kemarin, yang dimenangkan oleh Derek Lunsford. Banyak yang setuju, tapi di sisi lain, banyak juga yang nggak setuju dengan keputusan juri tersebut guys. Mungkin kalian bisa lihat sendiri di sini dari segi size, conditioning, shape. Nick Walker mungkin bisa sedikit lebih unggul di sini. Tapi ya itulah, jeleknya kompetisi kayak gini biasanya penilaiannya itu subjektif guys dari masing-masing juri. Jadi misalnya nih, kalau dari si A dan si B, mungkin menurut kita yang menang si A, tapi menurut juri yang menang B. Jadi ya udah, kita cuma bisa nerima aja. Begitupun dengan para kontestannya. Dan setelah ini, bakal gue tampilin beberapa statement dari para suhu terkait pertandingan kemarin.
Nick Walker versus Derek Lunsford. Derek took the win last night, so congratulations. But I want to break down why I think this took place. And to reiterate, I did have Nick Walker winning this show 100% at prejudging. Like, I thought it was undisputed he would have won, but it was a split decision. And then at the night show, not only did Nick come back better, but Derek came back light years better, where his legs actually didn't look small anymore to me. And in the beginning of the night show, I did actually have Nick in first place yet again. As the night show was going on, which this is the final comparisons that they're doing right now, I had them going almost 50-50 on the shots. And as time was progressing, I had Derek probably winning the majority of the shots. But overall, I think it was close enough that I personally still had Nick in first place. However, the judging and the scorecards aligned to what I saw, which they had Derek slightly ahead, meaning all the judges didn't agree with these decisions, by the way. So that's what happened.
But from the video, I would say that Nick Walker would have won, in my opinion. He was in better condition and everything. What the fuck's up with the chewing gum on stage, man?
Yeah, I don't.
Mr. Walker, don't chew gum on stage, mate. Come on.
That is a rookie move. I don't know what he was doing, but
there's times where you have to understand that you may feel that you were robbed. Yeah. You may feel that way because of the outcome, that it was undesirable. Right. But you go there next week, you go to New York, you prove that you are mentally tough, that you're emotionally conscious of what you can bring, and you bring that in New York, you handle your business there, and if you want to get some real get back, you go to Vegas after you get that qualification, and you run it back.
So much greatness within you, and the people want to see it. And even those judges that you may think that, screwed you over, you have to look at this as the biggest learning lesson. Because like me, I said to myself after that loss to Kai, I said, I have an opportunity to get some get back at the Olympia. And I'm going to make sure that I never lose to him again. And guess what? I made that happen. You have that same opportunity. Derek, and everybody knows that you're right there. You are not less than, you are right there. And I told you, it's like a person with a pickaxe digging for gold. You don't quit now. You dig deeper and find out how bad you really want to be the best in the world.
I normally don't share my opinion on something like this, but watching the bodybuilding show last night between Nick and Derek, I just was thinking so deeply about what I saw, and I feel like I really wanted to share it. But I was watching the show, I didn't know who was going to win. It was kind of going back and forth. And then at the very end, when they called Derek as the winner, the level of letdown, disappointment in Nick, from what I could feel at first and then what I could see, was so strong that it was inspiring. It was something that motivated me and made me excited about just sport and competitive drive. And I don't think people understand how rare it is to see something like that, and how vulnerable it is for an athlete to work so hard to put themselves in a position to lose, to believe in themselves so strong, and to put themselves into something that they have no control over, competing in anything. That's a very challenging, vulnerable thing, and not many people in their life will ever experience that level of disappointment, because they'll never even work hard enough to earn that. And the amount of stored potential energy that comes from that is absolutely insane. And to be able to take that kind of lesson and revert that to your life when shit happens, and you think you have a plan for something and it falls short, or you don't get what you want, or worse, to be able to look at that not as punishment but as preparation, and be able to take that energy. And when I was sitting in the crowd, I could literally seeing Nick's face sitting there, I could feel the energy just filling up with him out of nowhere. And sure, if you win, there's some excitement, there's some energy that comes from that, but then it flatlines, it dumps the next day. back to whatever. But when you lose something like that, there is so much energy that you can put towards good, towards making yourself better, to put towards driving yourself. And I don't think people understand that, like, how hard that is to earn that level of energy, like the setbacks he's had over the years, the amount of work he's put in, the amount of belief he's had in himself. Say what you want about him. This isn't about him personally at all. This isn't about anything personally. This is just like true, like, competitive sport, like, mindset. That's admirable. You know, that's something that's rare. Maybe it's not like healthy or conducive to normal life, but hey, neither is bodybuilding. But to be able to look at a competitor like that and see that level of disappointment, there's such a huge lesson there of understanding the amount of energy that comes from that you have to work so hard for so long, to have successes and setbacks back and forth, to just be able to get to that point, to feel something so deeply. I don't think people understand how rare that is. And, you know, I had goosebumps sitting in the crowd. I didn't even have a reaction to the show. I was just sitting there staring at him, thinking about all this. I was like, wow, like, there's so much emotion coming into that, and most people will never experience that in their entire life. And while it feels like absolute shit right now while he's in it, it is leading himself up for the greatest, like, progression ever, the greatest comeback, the greatest feelings of positive emotion in the future when he comes back from this and uses it for good, to prepare himself to be better, and, you know, takes that energy, puts it behind him to push him forward. I think that's so incredible and such a powerful lesson for life, to be able to take your shortcomings and, you know, sit in them, you know, be pissed. I'm sure he was pissed. He should be pissed. You know, I would hope if I ever lost in Olympia, I would have felt exactly the same, because you love and you care about something, you're working so hard for it, you should be disappointed. But to be able to take that after you let yourself work through the emotions of anger, sadness, and grief, and then to be able to put that behind you and get back to work and use it to fuel you, to make you better, that fires me up. That gets me excited. You know, emotions was always driven me in sport more than anything, and that was one of the first things since retiring where I was like, damn, I got goosebumps seeing the crowd. I am fired up. Not enough to get me back on stage, but it was fun to watch. You know, the battle between the two was fun to watch. You know, you have to have a lot of respect and appreciation for people who work so hard and put so much on the line towards something. So it was really cool to see, and I think an important thing to take from that, at least that I took from that. So yeah.
Tapi guys, apa pendapat kalian tentang pertandingan Pittsburgh Pro 2005 kemarin? Dan menurut kalian, siapa yang lebih pantas buat menang? Coba tulis pendapat kalian di kolom komen. Dan yep, makasih udah nonton.